Welcome back to the Transform You podcast with me, Paula.
And me, Nelia.
Today we are diving into all things Valentines, Galentines.
Oh, aye.
Answering a couple of questions. And this will be a two-parter because we've got some hysterical dating stories for part 2.
We've been howling.
Oh, too good. So thank you for writing in if you did.
All
and
anonymous, don't worry.
Always, yes.
Always.
Even the questions we've got for this first episode, of course, everything's always going to be anonymous. So the first question I will just bring up just now. Let's just get straight into it. Bear with me.
Waiting.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm ready.
Our question that we have is how to give yourself self-love on Valentine's Day when you're single.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Good one to start with.
Especially because obviously I'm in a relationship and you're single.
I rub it in then.
By the way, this is where we need to be changing the perspective.
No, I know.
Because you could be, get it up, yeah, I'm single.
I know. To be fair.
You're like that, yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, this is it. So obviously Valentine's Day is coming up. This is when people start to be like, oh shit, I'm single.
I know, because it's fucking everywhere.
Yes. But
God.
like I just said there, you need to change your perspective on it because you could have some people in relationships who are fucking hating life.
I was about to say that.
Like their partners are just letting them down. Your expectations are not being met. So you want to be treated like a queen. You want flowers, chocolates, and your partner just gives you fuck all. Sorry, guys.
Oh no.
It was meant to be the.
There we go.
Oh, we're not cheering for partners not meeting your expectations.
No.
So yeah, you can look at it for both ways. You can look at it like, oh my god, all I see is happy couples everywhere, or be like, I am loving my best life being single, and I'm going to take myself out. So what is your single Galentine's Day plans?
I am going to a wee self-love event.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Quite right.
yeah. So I think Valentine's Day is on a Friday this year, and me and Louisa is married, but I think Colin's working this year, so me and her are going to Gemma Louise Healing.
Yep.
One of our friends. She is hosting a self-love Galentines event.
Nice.
So it's going to be a wee sound bath, Reiki healing, just like wee gals event.
Well, there you go. There's an idea.
Treat yourself.
There'll be plenty of these Galentine events going on. I mean, just go on social media, TikTok, Eventbrite.
Yeah.
Full of all these things.
You'll find them.
Yeah.
And even if you click on one, so like when you book something on Self-Love Club on Eventbrite,
yeah,
it finds you more like events like these.
Similar events and stuff. Yeah,
So
of
good.
course. So that's a shout. I mean, if obviously you're not in the position to go and do things like that, maybe you're not even confident enough to go somewhere like that yourself, try and reach out to your pals and be like, right, lassies, come on, Galentines, let's get a night out organised. Like,
or a wee night in.
Aye, that's it, a wee night in, like, and just embrace it.
Yeah.
I've only been single once in Valentine's because obviously I was in a relationship with about 40 year, and then and before that I would have been like 12 single. So Valentine's, it's just you know, like your dad giving you a card. Yeah. So my dad always still
really
gives me my sisters a card.
That's actually
what an absolute angel,
so cute.
Isn't it?
That's so
and you'll
cute.
say, right, Faye, guess who? Not from Faye, guess who?
What a Glasgow dad.
So good. He always gets us like a wee teddy and chocolates and a card.
That guys.
So, guys, if your partner's letting you down, just tell your dad or your mum.
But that is why your standards should be so high.
Oh, definitely.
Look
at that. So if a man ever like let me down on Valentine's, I'd be like, my dad, look at what this guy does for me. And you can't even do that.
See, that's why my standards are really high.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the past they've not been, but I was brainwashed, by the way, guys. But I look at my parents' relationship and I'm like, the way my dad treats my mum, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Of course, though. Absolute goals. And
like,
you'll never settle for less than that. Where were we before that? We're talking about being sick. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Single. So having a Galentine's night, right? So when I was single on Valentines, so were all of my pals actually. So that was great. That was obviously very lucky. And we had a Galentines night, and it was so good. We went to golf thing, cocktails. We ended up getting pissed and went out.
A vibe.
And it was just so good. So
vibe.
definitely try and make the most of it if you can. Like, make it an excuse to meet up with the gals. Make it, or even see if you don't want to meet up with the gals, do it yourself. Take yourself out. Like, so we've romanticised like our perfect days before.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, take yourself to like Irvine Beach, go and take in a wee sunrise, or
Stunning.
treat yourself.
Stunning.
See all those wee treats that you like to get yourself. Buy yourself them. Go for a bath. Go for a walk. So good.
Stunning.
Even if like, what, sometimes my favourite days are spent like that, just alone.
I love it. Like, I fucking love it. I love spending a day by myself.
So, good excuse
Going
to do
out,
that.
treat myself to something. Like, I love doing a sunrise walk.
Oh, aye.
I love it. And I love doing it with the dogs too.
Yes.
Just me and my wains.
Yep.
And going out, getting a coffee.
Yes.
Sitting in a wee cafe, getting some lunch.
See that simple pleasure of just getting yourself a nice coffee.
Going a drive by myself. I love it. Spending time with myself.
Hopefully we're selling this to you. We're like, yes.
Going home, having a bath.
Yep.
Getting all the candles. I love it. Like, that to me, dream day.
Definitely.
Not seeing a fucking soul.
Oh, like actively avoiding people.
Yeah. Not looking at my phone all day.
Yep. Well, that's what I was about to say actually. So if you are like, you know, getting a bit triggered by, you know, all the happy couples and stuff like that.
Do not open the apps.
Yeah. Just have a day where you're like digital detox.
Yeah.
Be totally selfish like that. And see if something is annoying, you just mute it.
Yeah.
Block them.
No, just get rid.
No,
get rid.
I know.
Just get rid for the day.
Yeah,
just get rid for the day,
stay
because
off
it can be triggering. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
And once you start looking, you go down a hole.
And also, it's one of these things where, because you're looking for it, you might not realise. So because you're like convinced yourself already, like, oh, it's just happy couples everywhere. You're then just going to get more of that.
Because also, a bit of a toxic trait that maybe I've done in the past. You look at your exes, and maybe then you're like, you go down a wee
God, definitely don't do that.
hole, and then you're like, what are you with now?
Oh, jeez.
What are they doing today? So
don't do it.
Don't do it, girl.
You should have your exes blocked anyway.
You should.
On everything.
My block list is fucking long.
You're just like, oh.
My block list is as long as the Bible.
Yes.
It is, by the way. Yours should be.
Yes.
Everyone should be.
If it's not, make sure it is.
Yeah.
But like, it is, you end up doing stuff like this, pure self-sabotage. Like, you're just confirming in your own head what it is you're looking for. Like, so
it's not good.
No,
it's not good for anyone.
No, it's definitely not.
Another thing I will say, because organising like a Galentines, fucking love it. I love a wee Galentines night.
So they are.
But I've been in situations where a lot of my pals are in relationships.
Yeah.
So on Valentines or Galentines, they are doing things.
Yeah, with
their
their
partners.
Yeah, fair enough.
Absolutely. Go for it, hen. So then I'm the only one being like, hello.
Yeah.
So to that, I would then say, just have a night in by yourself. Get yourself a wee takeaway. But just spend that time for yourself, self-love, because that is the best love that you can give anyone is to yourself.
Yes.
Oh, aye.
So true though. And literally that's it. Like that's the best advice that I could give to that. Like, and just always remembering whatever you see in social media, a lot of it's fake as fuck. How many of us know happy couples that you see posting every single day, and then you just hear that they're so unhappy or they're cheating on each other, or there's even like months later, you know, you see these things like, I posted this picture but actually was miserable at this point. Yeah. God, I even done it. Like when I was miserable in my last relationship, no one would have known.
Same.
So don't forget that as well. Like, comparison's the thief of joy when it comes to stuff like this, and a lot of things are just so fucking fake.
I've been there on Valentine's Day, or just loads of date nights where I was in relationships, toxic, horrific relationships, and all I wanted to be was single in those moments. Yeah. But I didn't have the strength to leave those relationships. Yeah. And people were probably looking at me being like, oh my God, I wish I wasn't single. Yeah. But in that moment, I was looking at everyone else that was single, so envious.
Yeah.
So it is always, the grass is always greener.
Yep.
So
That's a good reminder for you just now, especially you being single going into that. So you're like, I would much rather be doing this.
I would much rather be where I am right now.
Oh, aye.
Than step back to how I was feeling back then.
Yeah.
So enjoying my single days.
I think, do you know what? Without sounding like a Christmas fucking Scrooge, which usually I do sound like, because with all of this stuff, I just feel like people just waste money.
Oh, 100%.
I would be so annoyed if William spent £400 in roses for me. I'd be like, we could have booked a holiday, you clown. Like, what are you up to?
I know.
So you see this on Instagram, somebody lying in a fucking bed of roses, and you're like, right, I'm sorry, 500 quid or whatever it is for these packages. No, I would be fuming.
Go away somewhere? Can we not spend it on
totally agreed
something for the house? Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Like, I'd rather you spend that money on something.
Could go back to Tenerife for that. I'd be fuming.
Can we not do that?
No, I know.
Same. But
we were actually talking to someone at SoulFit a few weeks ago, and the girl does this as a job, like you know, like does events and all that. And she even was saying it is crazy the amount of people like who spend thousands on Valentine's Day, like, you know, to decorate like a hotel room. And even she, it's her business, she's like, great for me.
Yeah,
thousands. And I'm like, no, thousands. I would be fuming.
So would I. So would I.
What's the point? Because the roses are going to die within a day because they're scattered. The balloons are going to deflate.
That's insane.
I did warn you I was going to be like Scrooge there, but
no, that's me as well. That's me.
Aye. So
I love getting like a wee card. I love getting a wee bunch of flowers.
Yeah, of course.
But
£2 for Tesco, they're belters. Like,
stunning.
So nice.
But
50p card, I'm on that train, I know.
Mate,
see if somebody's spending £3 on a card, I'm like,
it's what's in the card that matters.
Yes, a nice wee message.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, that to me is what
and chocolate
matters.
We need chocolate.
Just get me some nice chocolates.
Yeah.
We like the same chocolates, those wee seashell ones.
Yes. I would be honest, I'm chuffed with that. Honestly, you might see all this stuff, but just think the reality of that situation is really actually fucking annoying.
I know. And everything in life is filtered. So whether it's like real filters, or think how many pictures you take in order to get the perfect picture. So everything in life is
exactly.
Just enjoy my night to yourself.
Yeah. And actually can just ignore it as well. You actually don't even need to celebrate Valentine's Day. It's also just like a made up thing. I always do, right? Obviously, because I've always been in relationships.
Yeah.
And William's obviously very good. Like, he is a date planner, goes for it. So he will, right? And I love that about him.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that he obviously does that. And I would feel deflated if he didn't, right?
Yeah.
See, because now my expectation is there that he's obviously going to do something like that. So I'm not saying that I don't care about it, because if he didn't do something, I would be really upset. So, but that's, I mean, like, now I just have that expectation now. Like we're saying, just
love it. Just
keep it simple and thoughtful.
Don't need to spend loads of money.
Yeah. Same with birthdays and all that as well, isn't it? The wee thoughtful gifts are the best.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. So there you go. Do not worry about being single, because actually it might be the biggest blessing.
Also, I think I know the person that wrote that
question.
So just call me. We'll have a wee FaceTime.
By the way, yours could.
I know. We'll have a wee date.
Have your own.
We'll have our own wee Galentines.
Definitely.
Because I feel you, hen. Love it.
Listen, treat yourself, and we want to know what you've done to treat yourself. We'll be checking up on you.
We will. I will be.
Right. Second question, which is dealing with rejection. As a people pleaser, I struggle with this and struggle staying motivated after this happens. I know it's so cliche, right? But obviously people say like rejection is redirection and all that, which quite a lot of the time it is, but it also doesn't make it sort of hurt any less.
Yeah.
I suppose it's like a sort of ego dent in a way. And then again, like, I think using the word rejection makes it sound worse.
Changing the vocabulary.
Yeah.
In the first instance.
So being like, oh, I got rejected just sounds horrible. Whereas if you just change it to, oh, they didn't get back to me, or that one didn't work out, it just sounds a bit softer.
Yeah.
And then you'll internalize that softer because saying that sentence just makes you go, oh, horrible, when you feel like, oh, rejected.
Like I've been rejected from a job.
Yeah.
Where that person I went on a date with rejected me. It's really hard. It's a harsh word. It's a very harsh word.
That's like very negative self-talk, isn't it? Instead of, again, it's changing your perspective in the situation. Change it to maybe that one didn't work out. And remembering that actually I'd say 99% of the time it's nothing to do with you. It's completely to do with them. And that doesn't mean to say that they're a bad person either. It just might be they didn't feel that connection with you. And it's honestly better if somebody's honest like that.
Yeah.
Because imagine they weren't. They just kind of string you along. You then catch major feels. And then they kind of then they say to you, I don't actually want to take this any further. I'd say that's worse. So yeah, shift your perspective on it. It's a good thing if that person lets you know, I would say, or ghosts you. If they ghost you, then definitely that's a good thing, because that's a major red flag.
We were just talking about that.
Yes, and I suppose being ghosting is something that quite regularly happens to people.
Happens all the time.
Yeah,
I've been ghosted so many times recently. Like all the dates I've been on, I've just been ghosted. Yeah. It's like, hello.
Have you ever ghosted anyone?
When I was dating guys, way back when. Way back when. And
why would you ghost? Did you just find it easier? Again, it was about you. It's to make it easier.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
Aye.
I would just see, when it was with guys though, I just saw so many red flags.
Yeah.
So I would just be like, abort mission, abort. And then, so yeah, it was easier for me.
Yeah.
Than to have to explain to them why. Be like, oh, because you were giving me.
And even somebody like yourself who now feels like very secure in yourself, and you obviously have a lot of self-love, I still feel like you would still take that rejection, air quotations, you as part of that would still sort of dent you a bit, wouldn't it? Yeah,
it does. Like I still, every time I do get that, like the rejection, or I get ghosted or something like that, it does chip into you a bit. Yeah. And you're kind of like, oh, I have to do the work on myself.
Especially that, like they've just said there, like it then affects me sort of going forward. Like, you know, it affects your confidence. Yeah. But I think then you're giving other people power over you. So just, I know it's easier said than done. Like, do not let that affect your confidence, because actually the more that you put yourself out there, the easier it will become. The more you'll get resilience from dealing with this stuff. And I think that is just the world that we sadly live in, because there is just too many options out there. There's too many people available. There is like just, do you know what I mean? Years ago, you didn't have that.
I know.
Whereas here, people sadly might be talking to 20, 30 people at the one time, and, you know, just trying to narrow it down. Yeah. And even at that, I feel like there's struggles for commitment, because social media, like you just always are thinking, a lot of people might be thinking, what if there's someone else? Yeah. So it's like it's people, hard out there.
I feel like sometimes when I've gone on dates with people, I've almost felt that vibe of they're analysing whether or not I'm good enough, and if they could find more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, this is not the vibe.
And if people are going in with that mindset, then
it's like a job interview.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And see, even with that, like when you go for job interviews, that's what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
And it's like they're just going, well, are you good enough, or can we get someone else that's better? And when you then get a no in your inbox, it's like that chips into you.
Yeah, of course.
Like we've been there.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the same with dating. Like
I mean,
really
William rejected me in Tinder the first time.
Look at where you are now.
Look at us now. So yeah. The advice that I would always remind myself is, it's not me, it's them. And not in a way like, oh, I'm much better than them. It's more, they obviously have a reason why they don't want to be with you. Or they, even if it's not with you, they may maybe just have a reason they don't want to be with anyone. Do you know that way? So I think sometimes people obviously put themselves out there and maybe they're not even ready.
Yeah.
So there's a million reasons, and I think you will automatically always jump to, oh, it must be me, I'm not good enough, or I'm not enough something. Do you know that way? But obviously we get automatic negative thoughts, so you automatically always want to think the worst of the situation. You always want to be like, oh, it's me, and start picking yourself apart. You might be like, am I pretty enough? Was I funny enough? Was I weird? Pure overthinking it. And it could be a million things that you'll never know, because also always remember these wise words. You can never know what is in someone else's mind. Ever. Like, do not forget that. So many times we all think we're mind readers. We all think we know what someone's thinking, and genuinely you'll never know. That's just a fact. And it's obviously wise words to always remember, because how often do you drive yourself mental thinking they're thinking this about me?
Mate, you actually make yourself go fucking crazy.
Yes.
Like, you can, and it's exhausting. And half the time you're wrong.
It happens in relationships all the time. Like, so I'll find myself pissed off about something that he's done, and then, you know, I've got in my head that he's been thinking a certain way. I'll then ask him about it, and he's just like, what? Where, like, how did you get to that conclusion? And it's just reminding yourself, honestly, you'll never ever know. And you don't need to know. See, no, you need to remember about dating. You guys don't owe each other anything. They don't owe you anything, and you don't owe them anything. If
I know you've said that to me before, and
genuinely,
you've snapped me out of it.
yeah,
when I've
like,
been, like,
you don't know these people. You've lived 28 years without them. You've been talking to them for 2 minutes, and all of a sudden you're going to let them define your worth and let them define like how you go forward and how you feel about dating. Fuck that, mate.
I know.
Fuck that.
Fuck that. I know. And I am like, in the past, I've been a serial people pleaser.
Yeah.
And that has been hard in my journey to let go of that.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
That must be hard in dating as well, because I feel like then you'd be more inclined to put up with stuff that you wouldn't usually. Or like kind of see things through rose-tinted glasses and not actually see them for what they are. And right, how often has this happened, right? Your pal's all loved up. Maybe you've been all loved up, and at the time you're so blinded. They could be a complete arse. People are telling you and you see none of it. Then when you get out of that situation, you're actually like that. What the fuck was I thinking? So blinded by love is actually such a big thing. So yeah, do not be blinded by love. I mean, mate, it's so easy to say that now.
So, yeah, I know.
We've all been there. I mean, remember I think I said this in like the last episode. I'm like, I was getting signs for the universe, like left, right and centre, like fucking tampons lying on the floor, and I'm not a tampon wearing girl, and I'm like, what? What's going on here? Like, but let's just ignore that. So
I'm sure
listen,
there's a good reason.
No, mate, that was me. I would actually be like, there's a reason for it. No, there's not.
Mate, the same with me. I got cheated on in front of me.
No.
And I'm like, oh, it's fine.
I'm sorry, I've not got
fine.
Like how that's terrible. It's too much. I mean,
we did it so you don't have
so you don't have to. Okay, so our third question is, how do you keep the spark alive when you've been in a relationship for X amount of years, right? I just think in any relationship the effort shouldn't dwindle, and if it starts to me, that's a red flag. I would say if you are in a long-term relationship, I'd actually argue that Valentine's Day is more important, because I feel like when you are in a longer-term relationship, you might forget to do things, and that is an actual solidified day, the day of love. Put in effort. Yeah, and I think because you're in a long-term relationship, you should be able to have these open conversations with your partner. Do you know that way? So it's like you discuss it beforehand, like, right, what's our plans, what we're doing, and see, to be honest, see if they're not giving you anything that you want to hear. So for example, they're saying, oh, it's a lot of shite, or I can't be arsed doing anything. I'd be calling that out if it is something that you expect, if it's something that you're saying, this is what I want from my relationship, your partner should be able to do it. So they should be able to meet you where you want to be met. Unless you're asking for something like a 5-star holiday to Mauritius, right? And if they turn around and say, hey, it's only Valentine's Day, can't.
No, sure, that's
right. So
that's
be fair as well, right? Because I know some people don't like it. But I would say you should at least be able to put out there that you want a card, you want flowers, and you want to be taken out, or you want a night in. Aye. You should be able to put that out there, and I think it's important that you do, and it's important to have these conversations.
I find time for each other.
Yeah.
And even if it's not Valentine's Day, or you can't find that night to do it,
that's it.
Find time.
Even if you can't get a booking for Valentine's Day, there's nothing stopping you from making an effort at home. Aye. Nothing. Make an effort to actually just be together and do something like that. Like, take a night away from your phones. Take a night to just be present when you are eating together. If you feel like the spark is starting to die, figure out why. Like, are you spending enough time together? Are you too busy, stuck to your phones at night? Are you communicating enough? Are they meeting your expectations? If you are in a long-term relationship, you should be able to have these sort of conversations and see if you can't have these sort of conversations, then there's something wrong.
Even more so if you're in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Like, that honeymoon period is long over.
Yeah, of course.
So
you should be able just to be more completely honest. Yeah. So I would say if you feel the spark starting to die, you need to obviously make some time for each other. You need to be having these conversations.
Same.
Obviously, we're all different, I think. And I know that when you're in long-term relationships, you hear this all the time, like people saying, oh, the spark's not there, or things don't feel the way they used to. And then if you're single, you might be looking at that and going, well, thank fuck I'm not in a relationship. So this goes back to the first question, be like, well, would you want to be in that situation? Like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, because I've been there, like I've been there where loads of for a long time, things were really good. And then when they weren't good, you are just thinking, this is horrible. So, yeah, just remember that, like, it's good that actually 2 different questions came up like that, because it just shows you that both sides are thinking similar things, like a wee bit of worry about it coming up almost, because it's like the expectations. When I remember growing up, Valentine's Day, you would like make the boy you fancied a card and be too embarrassed to give him it. And stuff. No, listen, I remember making my first crush, a boy called David. All the lassies fancied him, and I remember I gave him a card and I literally watched him bin it right in front of me. No, I must have been...
Trauma.
That's savage, isn't it?
That is fucking savage.
No, that is trauma, because I can still clearly remember that. It was out in the playground. There was this like green mesh bin. I gave him the card and he just binned it right in front of my eyes. Thanks, David, if you're listening.
Aye, fuck off, David.
So how can it not just be like that? Like Wayne's just making each other cards. Like,
Meg, did you ever get like any secret admirers?
Aye, like it would be the ones like a card would, but I knew who they were.
No, I had when I think I must have been like 11 or 12 or something, and I had this boy drop off like a pink teddy bunny, giant. He dropped off one of them in a box filled with sequins, like heart sequins.
That's so extra.
So extra. This, you know, like the cards, like the big massive
ones.
Yeah, one of them.
Did he write from Guess Who, or did he write his name?
No, he wrote from Secret, like Guess Who, like
your secret admirer
or something like that. But I knew who it was because they used to be our old neighbours, right?
Oh God,
and it was
so
like
awkward.
And also, like, he got his parents to drive up to the house, and when they left, like, I came home and I was like, who the fuck? What the fuck? And I think my dad must have been like, oh yeah, I think it's such and such. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw them drive off, and I was like, no,
like, get the fuck. No. I got given like cards when I was younger, and like I said, I was too embarrassed. So I don't know what the hell you done with that, like, because that you can't hide that.
No, it was still. I was I was icked out.
I used to just keep my cards in my bag and be like, oh, I can't show anyone
Yeah,
that.
imagine what I did with that fucking massive card.
Oh my God. I remember like I would just get wound up for everything. Like,
of course they did. And then I think my sister that weekend as well had pals over. So they were like taking the piss out of me. And I was like, I want the ground to swallow me whole. Like, this is not what I wanted. By the way, like I've always known I was gay.
Yeah, so
like,
you're just like,
from day one,
God.
I've always known. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, guys, this is not what I want.
Like, why was that not a nice woman at my door?
Why couldn't have this been a gal? The girl I fancy at school. This is not what I want. Like, crying.
Like, I used to be so icked out by that as well, because I was one of these people who, if boys used to ask to kiss, I'd be like, no, like, and running away. Me and Karen were like that. Like,
love it.
We never kissed anyone. Like, everybody else was all kissing each other, and we were like, yuck. We'll just stay
like
together.
a school dance or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
aye. We were always knocking the boys back. We're like, oh no.
just like, get away.
We still thought boys had cooties at that point, I think. But
I did though.
No, one of the boys that kept asking to nip me was waiting outside my mum and dad's window one night. So literally, it's so weird. And also where I grew up, people got mad weight at 12, right? So he was steaming 12-year-old waiting for me. And that's like really horrible stalker vibes. Another one climbed up my gate to come into my roof and was at my bedroom window. No joke. He was like a parkour boy. The actually first boy that I ever kissed. Parkour. And he actually came up to my window and I was like, what is going on here? Get to fuck. Like,
what the fuck are you doing?
Like, I've only just finally kissed one. He's like, fuck off.
And no thank you.
No, I know. Like, that was a real Romeo and Juliet. Oh, mad rab fucking parkouring.
Mad parkour rap.
Then like backflips off my
my
roof.
God.
Like,
I can
fuck off.
fucking hell.
So that's my two romantic stories when I was young. I don't even know if they were Valentines. Let's just say that they were like romantic gestures.
Oh my God. Imagine though being a 12-year-old right now.
Oh God.
That must be
Horrible.
insane.
Yeah.
Like with social media now. Because we had weird social media, like Bebo and that. Was
Yeah.
fucking
MSN.
weird.
You used to like put your crush's initials in your MSN name.
Vibes. But like imagine now.
Oh, it must be hard.
It must be hard.
Oh,
It's just like toxic
no
vibes on there.
thanks. I hope they're all still making each other homemade cards, but I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Like they are in primary school, but
Yeah, that's quite cute.
we used to do it in primary. We used to
Oh,
make all
you
the
were doing writing all the poems in
ways.
primary.
I was. I was getting them all right.
You're like, right, who? Valentine's poems.
I used to go
50
around like
pence a
helping
go.
them all. And then some of the boys as well would just be like proper poets. They'd love it.
Oh,
And I
aye.
was like, yes.
Young Rabbie Burns.
Come on.
Love it.
Love it.
Especially because you didn't fancy the boys. You're like, come on, let's all write poems together.
Come on, everyone.
Oh, the girls must have been like, that bitch stealing them off for herself. And really, you're like,
Really?
not
I'm like,
interested.
Not interested. I'm interested in you.
Aye, you.
Oh
Well,
dear.
I think we should wrap up our
know.
Valentine's episode here, but actually not fully wrap up
I know.
because
We've
we
got more
have
coming.
funny dating stories for part 2.
Honestly, guys, listen in.
You're going to die. They are great. I mean, this is just the wee warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2, we're going right in. We've got so many funny stories from people on Instagram and some pals. So
Yeah,
it's going to be good.
it's going to be good.
So stick around. We shall see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys.